We have created various types of resources: work resources, material resources, cost resources. Next, we have to take these resources and assign to tasks. Only when you take the resources and assign to tasks, then only the work field, the cost field will get populated. And of course, you have to also adjust your duration based on the customer or your stakeholder need. Now, to assign resources, Microsoft Project gives you a number of options. I will first go with the command given by Microsoft Project, and that option I call it as the default one. Now, to assign resources, go to the resource tab, assignments group, and select assign resources. Now, this pops up a dialog box called assign resources. In that, all the resources that you have created so far are listed. Next, I am going to select a task to which I'll assign resources. So I am going to select this task, requirements and analysis phase completion. And I am going to select a particular resource. Let's say I am going to select myself and I am going to assign it. To assign, simply click on assign. When you do that, there is a tick mark coming up here that says that the resource has been assigned. And the resource name is populated. Also, in the graphical side, the name of the resource is coming up. Let us take another task. So here we have PRD approval. We already have two resources assigned. So we'll scroll up and we'll see John and Ravi. There are tick marks available, and these two are populated here as well, also shown in the graphical side. I'm going to add another resource. Let us say I'm going to add here Catherine. I want to add. So I'll say assign. Now when I added Catherine, Catherine got added here. So as you can see here, Catherine got added, and also in the graphical side, we have John, Ravi, and Catherine coming up, and there is a tick mark here. Now if you want to remove a resource, so select that resource that you want to remove and say remove. When you do that, the resource is getting removed. Every time you do it, the change highlighting is happening, and there is a smart tag coming up on which we have seen earlier videos how to adjust on them. Now let us say you want to replace a resource. Instead of assigning or removing, you want to replace a resource with another resource. That also you can do. Now let us take here the same task, that is PRD approval. On that, we want to replace John with Catherine. In that case, so first select that resource that you want to replace. Once you have selected, go to replace, and it will tell replace resource. With which resource you want to replace? Catherine, and say OK. Now when you did that, John got removed and Catherine got added. So here, instead of John, Ravi earlier, now it is Ravi and Catherine. You would have noticed the duration is also changing. Here it was John and Ravi, it was 2 days, but when I added Catherine, it became 3 days. The reason is, in the back end, the calendar for Catherine is getting applied, and based on that, the duration is getting calculated. Now coming back to our assigned resources, you can assign multiple resources as well. To assign multiple resources, let's take another task, say design and develop backend. In that, I am going to assign, say, Rick and Mohan. So I'll select both and say assign. When I did that, both Rick and Mohan are getting assigned to this particular task. So this is how you assign resources with the default option in MS Project. As I said in the beginning, work and cost field also gets populated, and also there are many ways that you can assign resources while developing the project plan. Those we'll see in the subsequent videos.